Constitution matters. Love it. You guys know we love it. But does it matter though? That's the question. Anyways, as I'm recording this video, Tom Emmers got nominated to be the Speaker of the House. And then within 3 hours, he got unnominated. He unnominated himself because he's a rhino. R-I-N-O, Republican in name only, excuse me. And it's funny because people are saying rhinos like that's a bad thing, like, you know, someone that goes against Republicans, like Republicans are this pro-American party and they're just so good. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some pretty good conservatives in Congress. You know, I like a few of them, but the Republican Party overall, they should name the rhino something else, because the Republican Party, to me, is a rhino. Again, there's a few of them that are pretty good. Well, what I would like is either do one or two things. Either just get rid of the parties altogether and just be American, you know, do the American Party, or give people different choices besides Republicans and Democrats, because both of them are terrible. But what it's showing you right now, the Speaker of the House, and thank God Matt Gaetz did this. And by the way, Matt Gaetz is one of the guys I like. I love me some Byron Donalds too, and a few other ones. What it showed you when Kevin McCarthy got ousted, and thank God, by the way, Matt Gaetz put that one vote in to oust the people, right? Because if he didn't do that, he wouldn't have got him out. And what does that show? That showed that there are a lot of snakes in the Republican Party and a lot of people that are bought and paid for by these corporate entities, the bureaucrats, the corporations, and the people that pay them. I just picked up a nickel. Now, a nickel, it's not that much right now. One day we'll be walking past quarters on the ground because it won't be worth anything, because you can't buy anything with it. But these Republicans, Democrats, it's not about voting the right people in. It's about breaking the system. And what's the system? The system is corruption. You know what I mean? This is why I like, and many of you don't like him, is Vivek Ramaswamy. I like Donald Trump. I like the people that are not bought and paid for. Now, I know Donald Trump has taken some corporate or taken some donations, because I listen to both sides of the aisle. I listen to the left and right. You know, I listen to Chunk Yogurt. You know, I listen to him go off about Donald Trump, Bill Maher. I listen to all those Democrats just to see where they're coming from. You know what I mean? I listen to left, right, and the middle. You know what I mean? Because I feel like I'm a reasonable person with common sense. I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I am reasonable and I do have some common sense. And believe me, common sense ain't common, and people aren't reasonable anymore. Everybody's so freaking extreme. I don't like to be extreme on many things, except my family and God in this country. But people are crazy, man. They got some crazy thoughts. So what it's done, Matt Gaetz, when he voted and ousted Matt McCarthy, is it's showing you who the swamp creatures are. And what's a swamp creature? It's an establishment person, man. I've said this a few months ago in this parking lot, matter of fact. I said it ain't about red or blue. It ain't about Democrats or Republicans. It's about establishment versus anti-establishment. And there are a lot more establishment people in the Republican Party than you thought. You know, Jim Jordan should be the Speaker of the House. I said that back in November when January, between November and January, November, during the midterms, when the Republicans took back the House, and they had a majority, a slim majority at that, but it's a majority. I was happy about that, even though I'm not a Republican. I know there are some America First politicians in there. I was saying Jim Jordan should be the man then, but Jim Jordan's such a good guy, and he's so loyal. He stuck with Kevin McCarthy. And Kevin McCarthy, the reason why he was the Speaker is not because he's going to get policies passed and all this, because he's a rhino. He's a snake. He's almost more of a Democrat than he is a Republican, and he knows how to raise money. You know what I mean? And he's great at that. And he's also a liar. He lied to so many different people, making all these promises that he just couldn't keep to everybody. And what did Democrats do? They turned their back on him. The people that he was working with. He was stupid for it. He was stupid for trying to work with them. But what it does is, it shows all these people that wanted McCarthy in because of the money he raised and all the money they're going to send overseas, because that's what that's about. And I'll get to that in a second. They don't care about America. That's why we have a wide open border. That's why we have inflation skyrocketing higher than it was, or as high it was in the late 70s, early 80s. And we have crime that this country's never seen. I mean, when you see these great cities in America, I'm talking about great cities, and I'm not that old, but in the past 30 years, you're talking about Chicago, Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York City. I mean, these great cities that even third world people that live in third world countries will look and say, I wouldn't want to live here. You got to ask yourself, it's either one or two things. Either these policymakers are really, really stupid, or they're doing it on purpose. And we both know what that is. They're not that damn stupid. They're doing it on purpose. Of course. And it's working. It's working. The reason why we don't have a House Speaker, ladies and gentlemen, and I don't know how we're going to get one, to be honest, is because these rhinos, or whatever you want to call them, or these American backstabbers, I'll call them, okay? America Last Republicans, they don't give a shit about closing the border. They don't give a shit about inflation. They don't give a shit about crime. They don't care about that. They just talk a good game. Watch how they vote. All they care about is making sure the people that pay them get what they want. Because these bureaucrats and these people that pay these prostitutes, because that's what they are, they gotta look after their interests first. They don't look after their constituents' interests. They look at who pays them money and their self-interest on what they can get. And what do these people want? What do these elitist establishment evil people want? They want war. War is the best thing for people like this. Why? YouTube's gonna love this video. Why? Division, number one. Control, because when there's a war, you can just say whatever you want. There will be no election in 2024, by the way. I'm 75% sure of that. That's another thing that you can do. You can get away from this, the Constitution, when it comes to a war. The amount of money, power, and control they're gonna gain from these wars that we shouldn't be into. And to me, Lindsey Graham and Nikki Haley should be court-martialed or arrested for the things that they said. That's a lawmaker talking like that, Lindsey Graham. He's a senator. He should not be a senator talking like that. So these Republicans, and by the way, I'm glad, let me say this real quick. I am so glad that we don't have a speaker right now, and we're not opening up or making any decisions, because we're not spending any money. Spending has gone down, because with this debt ceiling, which is no ceiling at all, it's just basically spend whatever you want until January 2025. We're not spending anything, and I'm happy about that. Because all they want to do, ladies and gentlemen, is send money to Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan in one package. Not separate bills and see what we're going to do and see where the money goes. It's all going over there. They're washing the money. And you know what I mean by washing the money. What they've been doing in Ukraine for the past 2 years or however long it's been. It's evil, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let me say this before I go real quick. Bitcoin had a pump, a small pump. Bitcoin's been in a bear market for about 500 and something days. A real bad bear market, real bad. And if your conviction wasn't high, or if you weren't into Bitcoin, you just think that, oh, it went from 69,000 down to 15,000, and it floated around between the mid 20s and 30,000, low 20s or whatever for almost a year and 3/4 of 500 something days. It's been a while, right? A year and a half or whatever it has been. It's been since like April of 2022 that it started dipping down from the 60s, 50s, 40s, you know, and all this other, then all the FTX stuff and all this stuff going on. But Bitcoin remains the same. A US dollar is not a Satoshi. In other words, you can print as many dollars as you want. A Satoshi is a Satoshi. Me, I piled up on the Bitcoin. I piled up on those Satoshis. Remember, there's 100 million Satoshis in every Bitcoin. I'm bringing up Bitcoin to say this to you. Bitcoin is getting ready to take off in terms of US dollars, okay? It just is. And I don't want to see you guys, because I just bought 100,000 Satoshis. I buy Bitcoin 2 to 4 times a day, okay? I have a specific amount I buy at midnight out of my bank account, but I also do DoorDash and buy with DoorDash. I spent $30 at midnight every night, and what happens is I get about between 105 to 113,000 Satoshis. I only got last night. I only got 80 something thousand Satoshis for $30, which is still great, by the way. But when it goes to 60,000 and 70,000, it's going to be like, wow. But I piled up on the Satoshis. It's not too late. Basically, what I'm saying is this: I'm not telling you to buy Bitcoin, okay? But damn it, learn about it. How much time should you spend on it? That depends. Depends on how important your finances is to you. And I mean that when I say that, right? Silver and gold are great compared to US dollars, relatively speaking, but it's not the way for the future. We're not going to go back to a gold standard, and we're not going to exchange value with silver and gold. Is it a good store of value? Absolutely. Compared to the US dollar. Absolutely it is. But when these CBDCs or these digital monies kick in, what are you going to spend and how are you going to spend? I refuse to participate in the CBDCs. Again, learn about Bitcoin, research it, read the white paper like I've been telling you for a couple of years now, and some of you guys still haven't done it. But don't be the person that said, oh, I'm not going to listen, and then buy when it's 120,000 a coin and all that. Don't do that, man. You know what I mean? Research it and find something wrong with it and come back and tell me what's wrong with it. Something legitimate, you know what I mean? But if you can't find something wrong with it, buy as much as you can as far as your education level is on it. And that's all I'm gonna say about it, guys. You know what I mean? But I want you guys to keep your head on the swivel, stay safe out there. And like I said yesterday, you can't buy a good body, a good spirit, or a good mind. You can't spend money on that. Jimmy said that in the text, in the comments, and he was right about that. You know what I mean? We're always talking about all this money and stuff. You got to get that other stuff right first before you get your money right. All right? I love each and every one of you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace and love, guys.